Welcome, guests, to another episode of Exhibition Stallion Interviews. Today, I am with special guest Andre de Bellefeuille, here today to tell us about his incredible stallion, Electric Snow. Now, Andre is coming to us from St. Bill's, I should have practiced that, St. Basil le Grand, which is in Quebec, and it's not far from Montreal, just east of Montreal, here in Canada. So, for those of you who don't know Electric Snow, he's a 2011 Sorrel Stallion, and he's sired by Jack's Electric Spark out of the mare Snow Gun. Now, Electric Snow currently stands at Oswood Stallion Station in Weatherford, Texas. And the NRHA lists the owner, of course, as Equine Plus, which I think will come up in the conversation here today because I've learned there's a Equine Plus, and of course, Femme Equestre Excalibur, again, working on my French, is a beautiful facility. Is that where you're coming to us today, Andre? And welcome to the interview.
Thank you very much.
Are you coming from your home there, or are you down south enjoying some sunshine?
No, I'm enjoying the snow right now. Now I'm home in Saint-Basile-le-Grand, which basically that's where we live, and that's where the farm is also,
Yeah.
or the ranch.
Now I've not been to that area. I have been to Montreal, but as far as the reining community, I mean, a very strong NRHA community there in Quebec. Is that surrounding you, or is it throughout the province? What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's basically around the province. Obviously, maybe more around the Montreal area, maybe 100 kilometers, radius or something like that. But it's all over the province. We are basically, I would say, like 30 kilometers from downtown Montreal.
Yeah.
So we're very close to Montreal in a certain way.
Yeah.
And in a really nice area too. So we're really fortunate.
Lovely. You know what? I got to get out there in the fall sometime and see those leaves change color. So, well, hey, we're here to talk about Electric Snow today. And first off, I want to thank you, Andre, for supporting our auction and our program. We're brand new. This is just our second year that the Exhibition Stallion program and the Exhibition Reining Stakes has been in operation. And so this is our second stallion auction. And so your generosity of supporting us by donating a breeding for the auction, it means so much. We have learned that the success of creating a very special event here in Canada, in Western Canada, is going to rely on that support of breeders such as yourself. And then, of course, the mare owners, breeding to these incredible stallions, nominating their prospects. And so, as we get started, we are actually already running the Reining Stakes program for, we had classes offered last year and again this year. But as we move towards that 2028 and then beyond, we're really hoping we can do something special here in Canada. So thank you for supporting us and being a part of the dream that we have. And we hope that also supports you, because I know it's not easy to be a stallion owner. So
I agree.
no. Well, let's talk about Electric Snow. When and where did you come to own Electric Snow?
Well, we raised them, basically, we own Snowgun, and she gave us some really incredible athletes, and he's one of them. So we raised them. Basically, the way we were operating those days, and still are to a certain degree, our broodmare, the majority were down in Texas, and he was born in Texas at that time. Well, it's still called Cedar Ridge, and so basically we were raising, depending of the year, 5 to 10, babies a year, and he was one of them. But he was a standout from the beginning. When he was when he was born, sorry, I had a phone call from Kathy Hinton telling me how beautiful he was, and he was like, he was just born, but he looked like a perfect horse, let's say. And after a little while, they called me and almost, telling me that, you have your winner of the futurity in your hands. And he was like, I don't know, a week old, 2 weeks old, or something like
Wow,
that.
what a call.
Yeah. So as a yearling, what we were doing, because again, it's a question of the weather, and being born here is sometimes it's, the weather conditions and stuff is not the greatest for a baby. So as a yearling, we bring them up here and in the pasture and all that. And he was there, and at that time we had about 5 or 6 other studs in the same paddock, I would say. It's a pretty large paddock, but still. And he was a standout. So I can say that, I was in my living room watching them, and I was watching him specifically, and he was playing with the other, stallions all the time. He was running after them, have them run after him. Uh, I mean, it was phenomenal to see how athletic he was, but it raised a question in my mind as to how we going to be able to keep him as a stud, because he was a pain in a way. So, but the minute we brought him in, we never put a chain on him, never put everything we done was like he was like trained horse, like a trained dog,
Yeah.
on just loose leash and all that, and always very responsive to do whatever you want, and so we were very happy. I was hoping to keep him as a stud, obviously, but he's never been steady. Even when he was 3 year old and he was at Larson, he was putting his daughter on his back and stuff like that. He's never acting steady, and that's why we kept him stud. Otherwise, he would have been gelded,
Yeah.
certainly. So from the day one, he was special, very special.
That's incredible. And I mean, as I said just a minute ago, like what a great call to get. So I'm curious because as much as I think that the people want to hear about that playfulness, that puppy dog nature, just knowing that comes through, but people are also going to want to know, like, what are some of those skill strengths that you saw? You saw early on that he was super athletic. So what would you say are some of the skill strengths that maybe you saw early and then proved, like, in that futurity year? I know had a great successful year and beyond. What were some of those skill strengths that you saw?
Well, I mean, his mind was always very good, and and his strengths, his conformation wise, is almost perfect if you look at him.
Mm-hmm.
And so that helped him a lot to do what we need to do in reining. So really good mover, very, very athletic and physical. And at that time, we had another Jack Electric Spark stud, uh, very nice, pretty Palomino out of another mare that we had bought as a winling. And they were like a question, who's the best one of the two? So I had Matt Hudson riding both of them, and I said, well, let me get on them for a few days and I'll tell you what I feel. So I rode them, but I mean, after the first ride on each of them, I said, I'm sorry, Matt, but for sure it's the little guy there. It's electric snow. And it proved itself, let's say later on, let's say in the Chopin and stuff like that. And then we had a clinic with Jordan Larson in Quebec that I had organized for the association. And so Jordan came to our place, a couple of days before, help us a little bit ride all the horses, and basically asked me, you know, after talking to Matt and all that, if he could have the horse. He feels that he was a contender.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like we ship it to him around July, the month of July of his 3 year old. And but his attribute is basically his mind and his heart. He has a lot of heart, and so basically you have to realize that, and whatever you're going to ask, he's going to give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the thing he gives a lot to his horses. So people need to understand that is not basically the type of horse that you can bang on him and just ask for something. You just ask, show what you want, and they'll give it to you. And I think that's one of his best quality. A lot of heart.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds incredible. Um, well, and I mean, I'm looking at the NRHA records here, and he's been doing very well. He has a lot of prospects in all of the different full years. Because I'm looking here at 2020, 2021, 2022 fulls, 23, 24. You've got some very incredible prospects out there that people have gone through and registered through the NRHA. So have you seen within all of that support that you've had that there's some trends as far as what's a good match for electric snow?
Um, it's I've been asked that question several times from various breeders, and it's hard to say because I don't think one specifically is good or bad, but
Yeah.
we had success with some whiz out of Top Sail Whiz Mare. We had success and seen some success out of Smart Chickalina and Smart Chickalina's sons, let's say,
Yeah.
or for example, Smart Spook or Rowdy Yankee or whatever it is, daughters of them. There's success on Chrome, custom Chrome, and Wimpy, and there's been some Little Rough Peppy, daughters of Little Rough Peppy. So there's been various, he stamp on a lot of them, I would say.
Hmm.
Um, like I said, he's a sensitive horse. But we've the top sellers are very sensitive in general, and it's been working really well with them. So it's hard to say sometime how things develop.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, he's got a really nice conformation, and I think that helps a lot. And he's got some extremely good shoulders, I would say. So a lot of them you'll see they're coming up, with high witters and stuff like that. So it helps them to, when they stop and move and turn, to be free. Let's say in the front. So I think that can help a lot of the breeders if their mares are not athletic in a certain way and need some help, let's say, to move, because the majority of them, and I mean the big majority, are really good mover.
Hmm.
For example, this year, or 2024, sorry, we had extremely good success in the ranch riding. People are not maybe aware of it, and I should try to pull the statistic, the official statistic, but he was with Gunna Trasha, he was the best stud out there for ranch riding,
Yeah.
and the highest money earner per foals. So So that tells you if he can do that, that's mean he's got some good movement and good mind.
Yeah. No, and we've been talking about it. The conversation's begun, and to what degree it was happening before, I don't know. But the NRHA, of course, adding their support for the ranch class to NRHA events now. Of course, we keep talking about the crossover into the roping world that is just taking off, and then I've also heard people talking about, of course, you want the next futurity champion, but the reality is these horses are going to have an extremely good quality of life if they fit well in that non-pro job or in that rookie job or
Yeah,
that
yeah.
green rainer job or to your point, the ranch job. So I'm guessing you've seen a lot of that, and that's not necessarily going to be mare specific as much as is that fair?
It is definitely fair. I mean, there's a good horse is a good horse.
Yeah.
And I think people are there's always a flavor of the month. There's always that stud or that horse has done this and that. But people, because we've been through that for a fair amount of years now in the reining, and it doesn't take much to just be the winner or not be the winner.
Hmm.
And it's but people look only at the winner per se, and I can just look at the futurity where basically we finished fifth, but he drag a lead, just the little things. Otherwise, he was winning the futurity,
Yeah.
and so it doesn't take much, just half a point penalty, and that's it.
Yeah.
Killed us.
Yeah.
Uh, and then between his fourth and fifth year, we didn't know at the futurity. We felt at one point there was something. We find out that his upper ligament, upper the menisc, was pretty damaged.
Mm.
So as a 4-year-old, he did a lot of stem cells, pools, name it, and he got back a bit as a 5-year-old. So there's a lot of luck, I would say, to a certain degree,
Yeah.
to basically be at the top or below,
Yeah.
and that's what I think a breeder need to do their homework and try to get information like that, find that out why and what would fit, for their own program.
Hmm.
And same thing goes. There's a lot of people breeding, but then they don't follow it through with training and stuff like that. So, um, like I said, it takes just one little thing sometime, and then that's it. You take off. You're there.
There's always that tipping point, and um, And so I guess for people who are listening, I mean, obviously we mentioned that he's standing at Oswood Stallion Station there in Texas, but for a Canadian winning bidder, or for anyone else maybe across the western northwestern United States who are interested in our auction, what does that breeding process look like, would you say?
Well, if they want fresh semen, they would need to get it from Oswood and do what, basically the shipping costs and stuff like that that Oswood charge. And but if they're in Canada per se, we do have semen in Canada, frozen semen, which by the way, it's extremely good.
Mhm.
And we have shipped pretty regularly out west, so it's not a big problem per se. I don't know today, but we probably have some semen down there anyway
Yeah,
at the moment as we speak. Obviously, I think we probably have some doses over there. So it's not a big deal. There's Marie-Eve who works for me here. She handle all that stuff. And if someone wants to have fresh semen, they have to order to Oswood
makes sense.
in Texas.
Yeah, well, you've been a supporter out here in Western Canada before. Of course, I saw Electric Snow's name in different programs. I believe there was a breeding auction that you did with Raining Alberta. You'd have to fact check
Yeah.
me on that, but that's when I remember seeing that. So everyone out here in Western Canada is already familiar with Electric Snow and what that represents. So a big thank you once again for being supportive of us. Now, sometimes people want to know what other programs that he is nominated for. Do you have?
He's basically in all the program you can think of. He's in obviously we put Siren Dam, NRBC, All Star, NARS, Invitational, Underdex. So basically, all the program that exist that are popular, I would say we're in.
Yeah. And there's a lot of them now, including we're a new one here. So, but the two different sort of that I'm seeing in the division between the sort of the big stallion, the high cost programs, and then the NARS model, where it's more of a volume based, lower cost program. That's where we're falling in line with. So hopefully that results in, like I said, people who are watching this, hopefully jump on. I mean, as we're talking here today, we're less than a week away from the end of our auction. But that makes all of those prospects all eligible, this year and for the years beyond. And so we would love to see some winners coming to our shows. It makes us very excited. So thank you, Andre, for your generosity. Thank you for being a supporter of reining in Canada. And as far as people reaching out and contacting you, I've been on your website. I've seen your facility there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you.
But what is the best way for people to communicate with you if they're trying to?
They could do email. They can do if they look at the my phone number. We have a messenger.
Yeah.
We're available basically in all kinds of different communication. But if they go on our website, if they go on Facebook and Messenger and all that, they can reach us without any issues.
With today's technology, it's easy to do, and it sounds like
You got it.
you've got a program in place with your help and all of that. That communication piece is so essential. So, well, great. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and thank you. Can't wait to see who the winning bidder is in the auction, and can't wait to follow the prospects here as we move into 2025. As I already pointed out, there's some Electric Snow prospects that are going to be out there in the futurity year. Can't wait to see what's happening there. So thank you again, Andre, and we'll look forward to keeping this partnership, this relationship here together. Thank you again.
Perfect. I appreciate. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.